Hey everyone, this video lesson is on levers. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain what are levers, identify the three parts of a lever, list the three types of levers, examine the way levers use force to make moving an object easier. Just follow along with me and you'll see how fun and interesting learning can be. Hi students, nice to see you all. Let's have a fun time learning about levers. Previously, you would have learnt about types of forces, which are push and pull. Additionally, your teacher would have introduced the 6 types of simple machines. Here is a quick recap. This is an example of a wheel and axle, with the wheel used as a balancing point to move objects. Here we have a claw hammer, which is a lever. Do you see how effortlessly the hammer removes the nail? This is an example of a pulley. I want you to notice how the pulley uses a rope to pull that bucket of water easily. Here we have a screw. A screw is similar to an inclined plane. If you look carefully at the screw, you will see a spiral along the inclined plane on the sides. Can you see it? Okay, let's now have a look at a wedge. A wedge is a piece of wood or metal which has a thin edge that is driven between two objects. Look at how perfectly the wedge slices the watermelon. Finally, you all would have had a look at an inclined plane. As you can see on the screen, this is a ramp and is used for raising or lowering a load. Hope this refreshes your memory and you are ready to study levers in depth. Let's get started. Do you know what levers are? Have you ever used a lever before? I'm sure all of you would have interacted with levers in the past. They are quite common and we use them all the time. Let's have a look around this room and see if you can identify any levers.
I see a scissors, a hammer, a stapler, an axe, a broom, and a door.
A lever is a simple machine which makes lifting and moving an object easier. You see kids, Levers help us move and lift objects easier because of mechanical advantage. We use forces such as push and pull to move objects, but when we use a lever, it amplifies or increases the force. This amplification caused by the lever is referred to as mechanical advantage. Rather than amplify the force, some levers change the force's direction. For example, when we use a broom, the long handles make it possible to sweep over a large area while moving your hands for a short distance. Mechanical advantage makes moving and lifting objects with levers easier. Let's review what we learned so far. Complete the sentence about levers. Take your time.
I think I know the answer. I'm going to give it a try. Levers are simple machines that make moving and lifting an object easier.
Excellent! Levers are made up of three main parts: the fulcrum, the effort, and the load. Some levers also use a beam to make them work. The fulcrum acts as a central point between the load or object you want to move and the effort, which are the forces you want to apply. Based on where we place the fulcrum in the lever, we can then classify levers into three groups. Each classification has its uses and advantages. Do you remember? Can you list the three main parts of a lever?
The answer is load, effort, fulcrum.
Very good. In first-class levers, the fulcrum or balancing point is found between the load and the effort. It may not look like one, but a claw hammer is an example of a first-class lever. When attempting to remove a nail with a claw, the nail would be the load. The head of the hammer is the fulcrum. The part of the hammer we hold or the handle is where we would apply the force. This is the effort. Look at when we pull on the hammer, the location of the fulcrum makes it an easy task to remove the nail. Let's look at how forces move the load in first-class levers. The oars on a boat is another example of a first-class lever. Here we can see the direction of the force changes. When effort is applied by pushing or pulling, it causes the load to move in the opposite direction. As we push forward on the oar, it pushes the water in the opposite direction and moves the boat forward. Let's see if you all understand first-class levers. I want you to find the effort, the load, and the fulcrum on the scissors.
Effort, fulcrum, load.
Great job! In second-class levers, the load is found between the effort and the fulcrum. A wheelbarrow is an example of a second-class lever. Let's move this heavy rock. Where should we put it? Yes, in the wheelbarrow's tree. This heavy rock is the load we want to move. When we lift and push on the handles, we apply force. This is the effort. The wheel acts as the fulcrum, which acts as a pivot or balancing point. It is now much easier to move the heavy load. Let's look at how forces move the load in second-class levers. A bottle opener is another example of a second-class lever. Here we can identify that when we push or pull the opener, the force causes the bottle cap to bend and loosen. The upward force is amplified at the cap, which then makes it quite easy to remove from the bottle. Let's review before moving on. I want you to locate the fulcrum, the effort, and the load in the second-class lever. Take your time and think before you answer.
This is a nutcracker. Effort, fulcrum, load.
Fantastic! The final classification of levers are the third-class levers. And based on the other two, can you guess why these are different? If you guess that in the third class levers the effort is between the fulcrum and load, you would be correct. A broom is an example of a third class lever. When we use a broom, we pivot the top or handle of the broom. This is the fulcrum. The other hand in the middle of the handle acts as the effort we place to move the broom, and the bristles would move the load. When we push the bat forward, we push the ball forward as well. Notice that similarly to the second class lever, the direction of the force remains the same. Therefore, the effort and load move in the same direction. Alright, let's see what you've learned about third class levers. I want you to find the fulcrum, the effort, and the load in this third class lever.
This is a tweezer. Fulcrum, effort, load.
Well done! Okay kids, let's summarize what we learned about levers. I want you to listen carefully as I summarize for you. Levers are simple machines that help us lift or move an object. The three basic parts of any lever are the fulcrum, load, and effort. There are three types of levers: the first, second, and third class levers. We can use forces such as pushing and pulling with levers to make tasks easier. This is the real test to check your understanding of levers. This is your final objective in this video. I would like you to classify these 4 levers into their correct lever classes. This is a stapler.
Load, effort, fulcrum.
This is a door.
The handle of the door is the effort. The weight of the door is the load. The hinges act as the fulcrum.
This is a spade.
top of the spade is the fulcrum. The middle of the spade is where we apply the effort. The head of the spade moves the load.
This is a mouse trap in set position.
The bar which holds the cheese is the load. The spring at the base of the trap is the fulcrum. The trap bar is the effort. I had fun learning about levers. I know you guys did as well.
I really hope you all enjoyed my lesson on levers and it interested you to indulge further in science and mathematics. Just remember, learning can be fun and simple if you love doing it.